Hello, I'm Keith Humphrey, and I'm making this podcast to tell you a little bit about my second stage musical, Busker. Busker follows from Boiling Frog, and maybe you saw Boiling Frog. It premiered in Harrogate in 2011 at Harrogate Theatre, and then followed up in 2012 at York. But I always wanted to write a second, and in fact I want to write a third. But the second musical, Busker, started with the title, and the title came to me when I was driving somewhere between Ripon and Wetherby, and Busker, and I Google it like you do and find out, and there was no musical called Busker. So very quickly I developed the theme in my head about, well, what is Busker? What is it going to be about? And it wasn't going to be about what you might think, and that is out and out buskers on the street. And in my head, this kind of voice started to talk to me, and it was this individual whose nickname was Busker. And he was called Busker because it was a nickname that was given to him by his mum. And his mum gave him that nickname following a birthday, and she gave him a guitar, and he suddenly became her busker boy, and it was a nickname that then follows him for the rest of his life. But sadly, his story, his narrative, takes a turn for the worst quite early on in the story, and it really follows his path and how that path ultimately leads to him becoming homeless. And the homeless theme for me is something increasingly that I've become aware of in myself, and every time I walk past someone in the street, it challenges my reaction and emotions to that individual, and makes me think about their backstory and how they got there, and I was quite keen really to address that social issue within a narrative, and a strong narrative, and that's what's happened with Busker. And as a result of probably 18 months, 2 years worth of development, the result of that is what's been described as a gritty and moving musical that has the underlying issue of homelessness at its core, but within that a strong story narrative as to how that individual got there and how ultimately his story concludes.